A spot rate is part of the structure of interest rates, and it sort of falls in between the forward rate, which we've already talked about. Spot rates are here, then there's yield to maturities up here. A spot rate is the yield to maturity on a bond with zero coupon payments. I mean, it's a zero coupon bond. It's the yield to maturity on that. So we have a spot rate from 0 to 1. We have a spot rate from 0 to 2. We have a spot rate from 0 to 3. Now, there is a relationship between those spot rates and the forward rates. If we start out at the first time period, the spot rate equals the forward rate. It has to. It also equals the yield to maturity. First period, it's a zero coupon bond, so it also equals the yield to maturity. So first time period, spot rate equals the forward rate. In the second period, the spot rate equals the forward rates, and you see the relationship in that equation up there. And note that this is an equilibrium argument. What we're saying is that a bond that's held for 2 time periods will have the same value at the end of it as buying a 6-month bond and then another 6-month bond. So this is an equilibrium argument. You cannot take a bond that is invested from 6 months than a year and get a better return than having a year. And if you think about it, that is, if that did not happen, there would be arbitrage conditions that exist. So that's for the second time period. And now we can say that for any time period. But before we do that, let's just give an example. Let's say our 6-month bond has a spot rate, forward rate, and actually yield to maturity of 0.75%. Our 1-year bond has a spot rate of 1%. Both of those are observable directly from the yield curve. All right. Now, both of these bonds have zero coupon, and now we can find the forward rate from 6 months to 1 year. You see the relationship given there. The spot rate for period 2 equals the 2 forward rates in that equation. We input, and again, this equation comes from our equilibrium condition. Plug in our 1% and our 7.5%, and we can find our forward rate from 1 to 2. In this case, it's 1.25%. All right, I want you to notice something. Our 6-month T-bill rate is 0.75, and our 1-year spot rate is 1. Our forward rate from 1 to 2 has to be greater than 1 for this all to work out. If it wasn't, there would be no way for the spot rate to be above. It has to be above 1, otherwise you can't get to 1. All right, here's the generalization for any n period, and you'll notice that the spot rate for n will equal the forward rates for the periods before that. Again, if you think about it, what we're saying there is if you have a spot rate n, we have a zero coupon bond, we cannot keep reinvesting the funds in a manner and get a higher return than just taking the spot rate. So that's the equation that's listed there. And now I want to rearrange that a bit. You'll notice I redded out a bunch of those terms. If you look at those redded terms, they are the spot rate for n minus 1. And just think about that and make the substitutions, and you will get the results showing there. Note that I can rearrange those terms and solve for the forward rate. Now, what this is useful for is finding the forward rates given a range of spot prices, and we will often see spot prices but not the forward rates. So if we have the spot rates, we can solve for the forward rates. And let me just give an illustration of that in Excel right now. Here's our formula, and let's say we have these 4 spot rates. 6 months, 5%. Spot rate for period 2, 6%, 7%, 8%. So let's find the forward rates. That will be 5%. First period, the forward rate equals the spot rate. Now I'm going to just implement this formula over here in this cell, and I'm going to make it so I can copy it down and do all the calculations. All right. There is my formula. That will give me the forward rate for period 2. Again, note that it goes up. There's my forward rate for period 3. And there is my forward rate for period 4. So I can, if I wanted to, if I found a bunch of forward rates in this format, I could implement this formula in Excel relatively easily. If we look at the Treasury site, this is the U.S. Treasury site, they give spot curves for all the years from 76 through 2018. And if I come and get that file, this is what it looks like. And let me just freeze the frames here. Here's our last one, August 2020. If we look at that, this is now our spot curve. Treasury gives us our spot curve. 8.18 for 6 months, 0.15 for 1 year, 0.13 for 1.5 years. Part of the assignment, you will implement the spot rate formula given the most recent spot curve we have from U.S. Treasuries.